pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Walrath?
Here.
Mr. Blanton?
Here.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
All right, we'll go straight to the administrator's report. Mr. Brett?
I just wanted to make you aware of a couple items. We've been having some complaints from the neighbor who runs the apartment building next to our town hall about people from Tram parking in their or in their driveway, blocking the parking, and also leaving food out at night. Varmints are getting into the food. They're also getting into their garbage can. So I've talked with them, and it probably is time to, I didn't know if any of you had a good relationship with them and would want to talk to them before we send them a nice letter saying, hey, you got to keep your people from doing this.
Dennis George is the one.
Dennis George.
I talked to Dennis, but not about that, but their tram is going to use the big part of the building to get some stuff in. They get kids from the school coming down to help. And I talked to Dennis, told him we would always make sure that he didn't have anything going on before we let him use the parking lot for school lessons and things. So
I know Kevin very well, and he's involved in that.
yeah, I hate to,
Quite a bit.
I don't want to come off wrong, but yeah, we do as a neighbor. Yeah.
We still should do a letter if you talk to them. Do we have signs? I know we got the sign up way back. Do we have a sign in the front?
We do
At
the street, yes.
Okay. All right.
And she said that the people walked over and the folks, and it's volunteers running it. It's not necessarily the people they have there, just, they don't care. So we just got to get their attention. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that. Also wanted to make you aware that Kim has finished the recycling, the RRI information for 2024. So we did good on that. We'll be getting that money in.
It's usually about $5 grand.
Yeah, that's what working was last year.
It's usually about what we get back.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first item under old business, probably could have gone under my, report. The fire levy information has been down to the Board of Elections. They have it, they're reviewing it. Haven't heard anything back other than they received it, but, that's all done. I just really want to check that out. And that's all I got.
Okay. All right,
Federal radio replacements. Chief, are these in the truck units or the handhelds? I forgot.
These are the portables.
Portable. So we've already bought the ones for the trucks. This is an unfunded mandate. Our old radios are going to be obsolete October.
I think it's July.
July.
Is when that process starts.
Yeah.
Through the end of the year.
Yeah. A year ago, I thought maybe the state would push that back, but it looks like they're not doing that. So we need to get these ordered before everybody's trying to order them in May and they run out.
Mr. Fuller. Yeah, I mean, this is fairly new information here. How many radios is this?
So this is they purchased for almost a year or so ago, the first half. This is the second half of the radios that I guess was slated to be, it was actually budgeted last year. But we just didn't do it on it. And then March is the 5% increase. So I think it was always slated to do it in two separate ways. And this is the second half of it.
Okay, the mandate, I guess, the old radios are not going to work.
Okay. This has the link layer and encryption stuff that the other radios just can't put in.
How many have we purchased so far?
To include, well, I don't have that.
Well, that's fine, too. So we purchased half and this is the second half?
Yes.
Okay, and we're on a timetable with this, by what, October, do I remember?
Yeah, there's a price increase in March 1st of 5% of what the cost is on there, which is why I asked Jim to maybe try and get it sooner than later, but it's up to you guys if you want to do it.
Okay. So we'll say 5% if we approve the purchase before March 1st, that's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And when we order the first time, like, you know,
4 to 6 months.
discussion.
Well, and Mr. Brett is saying that, I guess if we wait till the May, June, July, or when everybody else is right up against the deadline, that there's some concern about whether they'd be available. Is that correct?
That's my concern. Yeah, in talking with the sales rep from Motorola, when Whitewater was looking at them, you know, we didn't have the money to buy. We actually, Whitewater Township had to finance them. We just financed $116,000 worth. So, and then that was it was cheaper to save 5% that pays the interest for the first year on that loan. I mean, it's just, you know, the cost increase. I guess everybody should expect everything's going to go up, but I didn't think it was going to happen this fast.
Okay. Does this price reflect the 5% discount or not?
It reflects the current price, so it doesn't reflect the increase. So yes, this is 5%. If we waited till next month to do this, it would be 5% more.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Oster, we have,
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah. Did you had that in your budget? Yeah.
It's in our budget.
That was in the budget, yeah.
It's in our budget.
Yeah.
I don't think we were planning on doing it, but I mean, it was this year.
Yeah, it's this issue, so we're just being able to schedule. We know we'll get them in time to before October, so we'll be, our residents will be, and our fire department will be prepared for work.
Motorola has promised that we get this in before March, and we'll have everything done in programs before that. Change in that firmware thing from the state comes down to the mark system.
And it takes them 30 to 40 days by the time they get these in, after they get them, to reprogram them for our use. I mean, it's not like it shows up and they can just give it to us, we can use them.
Okay. And it's projected in the budget. I know we said that, so we got that clear.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Laura. Right, I will make a motion to move forward with the local radios. Cost $117,483.48.
I would second.
Thank you, Mr. Boria.
Yes.
Mr. Blanton.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
All right, we do old business. All right, new business, Mr. Brett.
So we have as you know, we were looking at the expansion of West Park. And in that expansion plan right now, we have a national fitness campaign, outdoor fitness court worked into that. This is a resolution to proceed with the grant process with them. In order to get the grant, we have to approve this resolution. So it says that they will give us $30,000 towards the total cost, which is the maximum that we can. So we have until April to do this. I just didn't want it to be something that sneaks up on you.
Okay.
So if you'd like to table it, we can. If you wanted to back on it now, we could. But this does not commit us to that fitness court. We can always back out.
Right.
So up to you
But
when
if
you want to
we
do
move
it.
forward with it, we are committed to receiving our $30,000 grant, correct?
When we move forward with it, they will guarantee the grant towards the cost of it.
Right. That's why we were passing the resolution.
Yeah.
All right, we got to April, we'll tell you what.
All right.
Are you okay with that? All right, we'll table it. All right, we'll move on to, new business B.
We're tabling that.
Yeah.
Right, so resolution 2025-05 is, we get to that, so I can kind of read it into, in summary. Resolution declaring 8537 Bridgetown Road, Miami Township, County, Ohio, a nuisance for high grass vegetation, junk, garbage, refuge, and other debris. That's also known as parcel ID number 570-0141-0035-00. Better known to the folks who've been coming to the meetings here as the property with the camper that is a mess on Bridgetown Road. We had given them an extension on their last cleanup order. Mr. Lindich for this here, if you have any questions for him. We'd given them an extension through Friday. They've made some promises, and I'm sure the chief will tell you when you do fire inspections, and Ed will tell you when you do property inspections, people promise you the world, but they don't always follow through on that. So the proposal is we pass this. If you go to the very last paragraph of this.
I don't think there's comment. What else is attached to this?
Section 5 says this resolution shall take effect and be enforced effective Saturday, February 8th, 2025, and after the earliest period allowable by law. We did that because our extension that we gave them because of the bad weather was through Friday. So we don't want to go back on our word, but we also are skeptical that we're going to get the results that we were promised. So if they show progress by Friday, then Ed will work with them. Correct. If they don't show progress, then we'll proceed with this. And this is the start of the process of us cleaning it up and putting it on their tax bill. So,
Any discussion?
I've driven by a couple of times, and Mr. Brett has driven by a couple of times. Mr. Schmidt has personally gone on the property at least twice and attempted to make contact. I think that this is the prudent approach. Again, we send a message that we take these things seriously, but also honor the agreed upon extension through Friday. So I would ask the board that we, if there's any, wait until there's any discussions. But otherwise, if not, I will make a motion that we have passed resolution number 2025-05.
All right, wait a second, I want to say something. So we've been looking at this for, I know, at least a year and a half. So the 7th is going to be the date, Friday. I just want to make that clear on the record. There'll be no more extensions given, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, just to work the other thing. I'll second it.
Mr. Ballroom,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, public comments, anyone would like to address the board, state your name and your business, and we'll be glad to answer questions if we can. Yeah, Mr. Juan.
My name is Mr. Barry Moreline, 5612 Gum Run Road. I'm addressing to Jim Brett and the trustees. What is the current update on the Jordan Road water line installation?
we actually, the design engineer, J.S. Held, and I rode and walked that proposed water line yesterday. There'll be a few changes based on what we saw in getting in and out of the right of way. So we're trying to stay out of the roadway as much as we can, but a lot of the water line is going to end up in the roadway because of the topography and the hillside. So Mr. Abercrombie said that he thought he would have that changed by probably tomorrow. So it'll be able to go to the county for their review. I haven't set it up yet, but I'll be talking with Justin Habig please, and, Eric Woodhusen. We invited them to go to that, and, Eric asked if we could do it earlier in the day. We were unable to reschedule it. So I'll probably end up and do the same walk with him with the new layout. The only place that really is going to be an issue is on the East Miami River Road side. The small culvert that, right now, the water line runs through the backyard property and, is actually exposed in the creek. We've got to figure out how we're going to get under or across that at that location. And, Eric Windhusen has, I don't know, 50 years of experience. So, I want to ask him his opinion, and before we go talk to a specialty engineer on how to do that. And we're going to talk with Hamilton County. I didn't realize that, Steve Mary, who did the bridges for Hamilton County forever, now works for the state. But, that's really the only problem area that we saw. Everything else should be fairly easy, and we should be able to get this out to bid within a month and a half.
So being realistic, do you think that water main will be placed to Jordan Road by the end of 2025?
I would realistically say before fall of 2025.
Okay, and how many lineal feet are you installing on Jordan Road from East Miami River?
I do not know that number off the top of my head, but I can show you the plans.
It's on the plans. I can't remember exact being flags either. I know it's 1,000 or something.
So the one other thing that I'm gonna ask the trustees is I believe it's 8740 is where we were planning to stop. And I want to make sure that's where the county gave us permission to go to. I want to make sure that that's where we really want to stop while we're doing this. And, we also talked about if we want to look at the other end in case Cincinnati Water Works wants to come down to catch some homes on the other end.
And then is it appropriate to switch gears and ask another question?
Sure.
I hear a lot of rumors, and I don't know what's truth and what's not, with the village of Addison as a village, or the city of Cincinnati thinking about taking them over.
There's two things to that. I went down to the council meeting, the other night. And the residents, just for information, anyway, just to sit in the audience and observe. The majority of the residents, and I can't quote the ORC on that, but the annexation can take place if the council votes on it and wants to annex with the city. But the ultimate goal or the ultimate deciding factor is residents in a vote. Also, council can dissolve their vote to dissolve, put it on the ballot, and that's up to the residents also. By the ORC, if it's dissolved, then Miami Township will absorb it. Now, the majority of the people in that meeting was in favor of trying to prolong the village as long as they can, which they should. And then they were also in favor of, if that's not acceptable in the future, no one put a time limit on it. But I would think in the next couple of years that the majority of the people down there were in favor of dissolving and keeping their identity as Addison, but being absorbed by Miami Township. Do you have anything different you want to add to that?
No, other than it's a complicated process for them to dissolve. There's two different ways they can dissolve. They can vote to dissolve themselves, or if they just run out of money, the state can come in and declare them insolvent, and the state would dissolve them. And then, just in a nutshell, the county commissioners would appoint a 3-person board of trustees, which I believe is a member of the county commission, the county auditor, and the county treasurer. They would be voting members of the board that would dissolve and dispose of the Addison property and take care of the payments that they owe. The township would get 1 non-voting voting representative to that board. And we would have to be very aggressive with that, because there's a lot of things that we would need to have happen if we end up doing that. And we will, one of the residents asked the other night if we could pre-plan for that. And we're gonna have to plan for that and be ready for that if it happens. But again, and I said it the other night there, you know, we'll do what we can to help them remain a village. That's the goal. We don't want to see them lose their identity. But if they're going to become part of Miami Township, we're not going to be caught off guard and be surprised. We're going to be prepared for it.
So currently, our fire and EMS is serving them, correct?
Till the end of March.
To the end of March, this March.
Extension, they have a fire and EMS extension.
And if they
That's
don't,
in North Bend, they all have it till March 31st.
so if they wouldn't agree to that, who puts their fire with them?
I don't know.
Because isn't there a law, wouldn't there be a law that someone has to respond, just like the police or the sheriff?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
That's my understanding. And Jim, correct me if I'm wrong,
My understanding is the village is responsible for providing fire protection.
fire and EMS service to the residents. Cleves, Addison, and North Bend are responsible for the same ORC, that's correct, right?
For fire. It's my understanding that nobody's required to provide EMS service, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I think that's how the overseas states is fire.
Just fire, okay, that's my fault then, so it's just fire.
And then one other question is, I've also heard, and I don't, it's probably gonna be rumor, but since we're here, we'll discuss it. Is it in consideration that Miami Township is gonna build a new firehouse and close the Mount Eagle Road firehouse? Is that,
Not to my knowledge.
so that could all be, that's what I'm here asking. I heard that myself.
That
You
sounds
would have
like,
heard it in the meeting, you come to every meeting.
Right. Well, I didn't hear it in the meeting. So
That's what
that sounds like something you may hear something like that on Facebook, but don't believe
I don't have a Facebook.
good.
I don't believe it.
So come here and ask us questions,
Right.
That's what I
and we will tell you.
all right.
If we-
Thank you, Mr. Furlong. All right, anybody else who would like to address the board? You're welcome to come up. All right, executive session, I'm gonna make a motion to go into executive session.
Can we just do quick updates from the board?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead.
And then
Yeah, before we
So,
go in, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just want to, make sure that
I think that, we talked about this the last meeting, but I think that we should try to set dates for, ambassador meeting, public, in town hall, so I think we can agree on two. If we have maybe one in an night evening and then one on a weekend, morning, I think we did that last time. I don't know if the board has any input or suggestions or thoughts on that, but, if so, then, you know, before the next meeting, we can hopefully set those dates and get that out, on social media and on the website. Does that sound acceptable?
So do we want to have a meeting before March 31st, or do we want to just make sure we have two meetings before the election and primary?
You know, I think as long as it's before the main primary is fine. And
Trying to find
if it's after March 31st, hopefully we can give good news to the residents, but we might have a little more clarity on things.
Well, we could go to the beginning of April, whatever you guys
But,
think.
you know,
Beginning
if
of
you guys
April,
think
the end of
March,
April,
yeah.
or March, whatever you guys think. What do you think?
The more the better. And if we do. And we can always add, especially if we get good turnout.
You want to have one in the middle of March and then one in the middle of April? Something like that?
Good for
Well, regardless of what you do, one of the things that I had hoped to do when I got here was to just have township talk with their administrator So I will pick a date for the end of February, and I will start doing that monthly. And, depending on Cindy's schedule, I'd like to advertise a couple of those that she can come in, that we can, talk about finances, not just fire department, but finances in general, like we did last time. And other than that, I just want to invite people in if they just have questions about the township. But just sometime other than a public meeting where they may not, some people don't like to stand up in front of crowds.
We need to put that in our newsletter, so when
Once we get all our dates, yeah,
It'll be,
we put these dates in the newsletter.
on the website.
and
everywhere.
that'll be on the website and on social media.
And I suggest you also use the senior center for a day,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
We
do
can-
it down there.
because those guys will probably do the information.
We can get that one of our meetings
I'm
in there.
gonna do, maybe we could do one here and one down there. So
Oh, in advance.
we don't have to set the dates there.
Okay.
But we can plan, middle of March, middle of April.
Yeah. So we'll finalize.
That'll get us
Out.
time to get that out.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the only other thing, unfortunately, we did have to cancel our big band
Night concert this Saturday. We're still having issues with credit card, being able to accept credit cards. We need to finalize that. Jim or Cindy, whoever's doing that, we're going to reschedule that. I think that the timing and everything else was kind of rushed a little bit, so talked to Carrie and we're going to push that out. Those are just the two things that I wanted to share.
Okay, all right. All right, Ms. Ozier?
No, but let's get together with some dates.
Yeah.
I do like that idea that maybe that we would not just be here.
I will actually,
Or maybe that's an addition to, maybe that's.
Right. Yeah, I kind of like, I know, I like that.
I was gonna actually try to kind of move it around, maybe go down to,
Town hall?
go down to the town hall, go down to Java Jackets. And just, maybe,
Talking about you and Cindy.
or just me for township talk, or Cindy and I for township finance
All
talk.
right.
Which is, whatever I can do to get people to feel open and come and just, ask questions.
Sure.
Like I say, a lot of people don't like to stand in front of a crowd and ask,
Or come, right.
or can't come to one of our meetings because of work.
That sounds good.
I don't,
All right, we will, I'll make a motion for executive session. Conferences with the public bodies attorneys concerning pending for an internet court action by division G3 of section 121.22 of the revised code. Court action is pending if the suit is being commenced. Court action is imminent if it is on the point of happening or impending. Also, in the executive session, we're also going to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing of the division of G1 of section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. And I'll make that a motion.
And if I can just, during discussion, just mention one thing. For those of you who are wondering why you don't see Alex Ewing, our attorney, here for this conference, he is sick, so he is going to be joining us via phone so that he doesn't spread the sickness through us. So, yeah, I told him I thought that was a very good idea.
Second.
Mr. Ballred?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
344.
Ready? All right, we're back from executive session. Can we get a motion to go back into regular session? I will make a motion to go back into regular session.
Second.
Mr. Ballred?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, any other business from the board? All right, we're on the motion to adjourn. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Ballred?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.